Hi, and welcome back to Focal Point on AFR Talk, this second hour of this free-for-all edition of Focal Point. Glad to have you in the conversation. I want to play a clip from Nancy Pelosi on the sanctity of life issue. And the backstory on this goes back to Kermit Gosnell. Now, remember, Kermit Gosnell is the so-called abortionist. He really was practicer of serial infanticide, perhaps killed 100 babies who were actually born alive. They were born alive, and then he would actually sever their spinal columns with a pair of scissors to ensure what he called fetal demise, that is, to ensure that the newborn baby died. He was convicted of three counts of murder of these children, these newborn children. And he would often do this with babies that were beyond the point of viability. And essentially what this questionnaire is going to say is, look, in partial birth abortion, late-term abortion, the baby is almost completely delivered. The only thing that's inside the mother's womb is the head. So it's virtually delivered. It's not 100% delivered, but all but the head is out. So what's the difference morally or medically or biologically or scientifically or any other way ethically between partial birth abortion and what Kermit Gosnell has done? So that's what this reporter from the Weekly Standard wants to know. Nancy Pelosi's having a press conference. Remember, she's proud of the fact, she keeps talking about the fact that she's a Roman Catholic. Well, her faith teaches her that taking of life at any stage is wrong, whether it's at the beginning of life in abortion or even at the end of life in capital punishment or euthanasia. I disagree with my Roman Catholic friends on capital punishment. I believe there's a place for that. But they have a pro-life. They are so thoroughly, in their mind, pro-life that they don't even support capital punishment for cold-blooded murderers. I mean, that's how committed they are to this principle. She's Roman Catholic, so that ought to be the direction that she goes if she's following the tenets of her faith. So this becomes a good question to ask a Roman Catholic, particularly somebody who is a minority leader in the House of Representatives. So here's how the exchange goes between this reporter and Nancy Pelosi. Here's clip one. Okay, do we have audio on that? I guess we have no audio. We may have it.
Between what Dr. Gosnell did
to
for a baby born alive at 23 weeks and aborting her moments before birth.
Okay, you're probably enjoying that question a lot. I can see you savoring it. But let me just tell you this. Let me just tell you this. What was done in Philadelphia was reprehensible, and everybody condemned it. For them to decide to disrespect a judgment a woman makes about her reproductive health is reprehensible. Next question. Next question.
You said, Amy, I didn't say that question. What's the moral difference then between 26 weeks, elective abortion, and the killing of that same infant born alive? This is the issue that they're trying to talk to you.
This is not the issue. They are saying that there's no abortion. They want to make it a federal law that there be no abortion in our country. You're taking the extreme case. And what I'm saying to you is what happened in Philadelphia was reprehensible. And I do not think you use that. I'm not going to have this conversation with you because you obviously have an agenda. You're not interested in having an answer. But I have responded to you to the extent that I'm going to respond to you because I want to tell you something. As a mother of 5 children, my oldest child is 6 years old the day I brought my 5th child home from the hospital. As a practicing and respectful Catholic, this is sacred ground to me when we talk about this. I don't think it should have anything to do with politics, and that's where you're taking it, and I'm not going there. Yes.
Well, of course, the abortion issue is all about politics. It's nothing but political. It's about whether in our political life, whether in our public policy, we are going to respect the first of the unalienable rights given to us by the Creator, and that is the right to life. And so Nancy Pelosi here is saying, look, when you talk about late-term abortion, you talk about killing a baby just weeks before it would be naturally born, that is sacred ground to me. Well, let's grab a call on fathers before we are done with this segment. Let's see. where we start. Let's go to Sean in Houston, Texas. We can bring Sean in. Sean, welcome to Focal Point. What's on your mind?
Hey, Brian. How are you?
Good. How are you doing?
Doing great. Just wanted to say about my dad. I'm a paramedic here in Houston, and I see firsthand the results of fatherless homes. And I just want to thank my dad over the years for me never having to doubt that he loved us. He proved that by providing for us. He loved my mom. He's been faithful to her. And he set the example for me with
Great.
my family. And I just want to thank him for that.
Well, fantastic, Sean. Thank you very much for that. And, you know, that's what it means to be a man right there. Being a model, being a provider, being faithful to the mother of his children, and providing the kind of instruction that'll set a young man on a path to maturity. So great, Sean. Thank you very much. Let's go to Dave in Jacksonville, Florida. Dave, welcome to Focal Point. Talk to me about your dad.
My dad has instilled in us a work ethic and loyalty to family and God that you just don't see anymore. And it comes from when he was 16, his father left him and his two younger brothers and his mother to go raise another woman's family. And my dad, from the time he was 16 to today, and he'll be 59 this year, he has held a full-time job to help his mother take care of his two younger brothers, and then held 2 and 3 full-time jobs throughout his entire life to raise his family and his children, and even now some of his grandchildren because of economic times. This is after having a broken neck, going in and out of work, going to being a Vietnam vet, and just multiple injuries, and he still gets up every day, goes to work, and does it because it's what you do. It's what you do as a man. I've even seen my dad go as far as every dinner we ever have, where there are other members, family members, or friends, he always eats last. He makes sure the elderly go first, the women and the children next, then the men, then he goes and eats, because he makes sure that his loyalty is to his family and to God.
All right, Dave. Well, listen, I appreciate that very, very much. You got a dad to be proud of there. And, you know, I had another thought. What was the thought that flashed through my mind when Dave was talking, and then it flashed right out of my mind? I cannot remember. Maybe it'll come back to me. We'll see. Let's grab one more quick call before the break. Let's go to Brian in Victoria, Texas. Brian, welcome to Focal Point. Talk to me about your dad. Got about a minute.
All right, Brian. Thanks. Great name, by the way.
Yeah, and do you spell it with a Y?
Yes, I do.
Good for you. 100% on that one.
I wanted to share with everybody that when I was approaching 10 years old, my dad pointed out that the Hebrews believed that a man entered into manhood around the age of 10.
Mm-hmm.
And I asked him, well, Daddy, when do we believe a boy becomes a man? And he thought about it for just a second, and he said, I believe when he acts like one.
That's a good way to put it.
You have to go to the Bible to find out what that is.
Yeah. All right, Brian. Well, listen, and that's a lifelong lesson. It sounds like that's something that stuck with you. Well, listen, I appreciate that, Brian. Thank you very, very much. Brian, Victoria, Texas. And, you know, I think if you were going to, this gets into a whole other deal. We'll talk about it another day. But, you know, Jewish males, like Christ, went through a bar mitzvah. That's what he was doing at the temple when he was 12 years old. At 12, you were treated under Jewish law no longer as a boy, but as a man with adult responsibilities. I think we now need to start expecting our 12-year-old boys to begin behaving like men.